And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Loot and Run, which is a game about grabbing stuff from a pyramid and running before the monsters get you. I did not realize Frankenstein and the werewolf hung out in the pyramid, but apparently they do. This is kind of a push your luck style game from Iello. Let's take a look. Each player chooses a color, puts a color on the scoring track. There's cards that are placed in two piles, and on a player's turn, they have three different actions that they can take. One of the actions is to loot, to draw a card from the top of either pile. Now when drawing a card, there's three different color backs, red, yellow, and green, and red is the best treasure. Usually there will be three treasures, but there's also a 1 in 2 chance of finding a monster on your card. Green has a 1 in 4 chance, yellow has a 1 in 3 chance, green usually has one treasure. Some cards have an amulet on them like that. So you draw a card from either pile, you look at it, and you put it in front of you. My next turn comes, I draw another one, put it in front of me. My next turn comes, I draw one and put it in front of me. My next turn comes, I draw one and put it in front of me. You don't ever have to reveal the monsters when you find them. What you can do on your turn, instead of drawing a card, you can run. You reveal all your cards, and then you're going to score 1 point for each treasure, and if you have 2 or more cards of the same color, you will score double points. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points. And so I would keep track of that and score 9 points on the scoring track here. Now, instead of running or looting, you can awaken. You can check the cards in front of somebody else. Now, you're not allowed to do that unless you have a card in front of yourself. But if you do, you can check someone else's cards. So you flip over their cards and you look. You look at the amulets. Each amulet cancels out one monster. Fine. But let's say there wasn't enough amulets to cancel out all the monsters. Then that person's going to have to discard all their cards and get no points. And then each type of monster, and there are 3 types of monsters. There is the werewolf, there is the mummy, and there is good old Frank. Let's see if we can find him. There he is. Okay, none of these look particularly threatening, but each one does something for you. If you reveal a Frank in front of someone else, you get an extra turn. If you reveal a mummy in front of someone else, you score the points for them instead of them. And if you're a werewolf, you get to draw 2 cards from these 2 different decks and keep any one of those 2. And then all cards are discarded at the end of a player's turn. And so you're going to keep going until somebody hits 30 points or 35 points in a smaller player number game. Once that happens, the game is over, and whoever has the most points or whoever reached that point first is the winner. Amulets don't do anything other than that. There's at most 3 treasures on a card. There's several different colors for matching color purposes, but that's really the game. Now, part of this game gave me some remembrance maybe to Ink and Gold. That whole, hey, how far can you go into the temple before the monsters get you? But I like that feeling, right? And this game does that. You're going to put cards in front of you and you keep your face very straight because you don't want anyone else to try to flip them over, unless you want them to flip them over, because if they flip them over and nothing happens, then you score points for them and you didn't have to waste a turn. That's a really cool thing, and the monsters are dangerous because the person who flips them over can get a lot from them. If I can get like 2 monsters in front of you, the Pharaoh's the best, right? Because if you get the Pharaoh, I'll score points for you, and I will also, maybe I get Frankenstein and then take another turn. That's pretty cool. Now, I mean, I've gotten the cards in front of someone else and then scored my own cards. What a great double turn, and that sometimes can swing a whole pile of points on your side. You really want the double points. You want 2 cards of the same color, so you're going to keep drawing. I mean, you could just draw green cards and be like, oh, safe, next turn, run. But you're going to just inch along on the points, and you really want to go farther and beyond that. And I think that's where the game really shines. The game can play up to 6 players. It works well with 6 players, but your turn might take longer to come around when that happens, and the chance of someone accusing you is higher. So I think the sweet spot is 4. The artwork is silly and fun. It's monsters, but they're, ha-ha, Universal Studio monsters, and everyone will have a lot of fun. Is it as good as Ink and Gold? Probably not. This is more of a lighter game, I think, in that regard. But I did enjoy just the simple, hey, Flip my cards, flip your cards, try to draw more cards. I want those double things. I have no monsters, but I'm making it look like I have monsters. Maybe someone will flip them over, or I only have 3 cards and I already have 2 monsters and no amulets. Oh, there's not that many amulets in the deck, so it's really easy for monsters to get you. Either way, great production. I love these magnetic boxes. I like how this one has a pyramid inside. The cards are easy to pull out and such. And the scoreboard here, just really nice all around. Fun for families, very light filler style game. That's Loot and Run. Dice Tower Judgment approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.